And then I got the T5, which came out of the Trans Am. Took it apart, put a billet reinforced retainer plate for the counter shaft, so it's stronger, so it'll hold up to the power of the engine. Well, what do you think, brother? It's gonna be crazy, huh? Good morning to you guys. So now we're on to the next part of this transmission deal thing. So I got one of those T5 hydraulic conversion kits. I think I bought on eBay, like 150 bucks or something. So you see it right there. And then I guess there's supposed to be about a 1/16 of an inch gap between the surface of this and our teeth. So I'm sort of playing with that right now, trying to get that all figured out. It comes with these shims, which are right here. So we're gonna install, I think, 2 of these. And then I'm gonna use my filler gauge. And once I get that within adjustment, I'll let you guys know how many shims that is. Then we'll know what we got going on right here. See if it works. But yeah, we just want a small gap on it. Engine's already got the carburetor, you know, basic thing, threw a gasket on there, new gasket, put the full bolts, put it back on there. You guys already know about the distributor. We threw that in there, got it mostly timed, but we'll have to time it some more because I think that has to come off to give me the tilt radius, because I'm going to stab this all as one into the car. It just makes it easier. I don't want to wrestle with it underneath the car. So again, just trying to keep you guys updated on what's going on here. We did do the billet reinforcement plate on the back, got rid of the stock retainer for the counter shaft. So that's pretty much like the #1 upgrade. If you do any upgrades to that transmission, it should be to replace this. You guys can watch plenty of videos. There's plenty of people that do it on there. But like I said, my transmission was in really good shape, and honestly, this retaining shaft was actually in really good shape too. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's the stock one. Have to remove the reverse gear, you know, so you're taking off the tail housing. I'll just explain it real quick, but you're taking off the tail housing, you're pulling the top access plate off, and then down here where this bubble part of this transmission, you'll see there's like an arm. It's got the reverse gear and synchro and everything else. All that has to come off, and then that access retainer plate is on there. Take it off, shim the new billet plate that comes from eBay onto it, so there's no slop in the counter shaft, but it, you know, spins freely. We don't want nothing binding. And what that does is, like, if you're under heavy acceleration or load or whatever, that plate doesn't flex and allow that shaft to move, which makes it where the gears can bind up or causes unnecessary friction, and it can actually break teeth in the transmission. So the transmission's lightly upgraded, because I don't know how else to call it that. I just did the billet shaft on it. Now we're just trying to get the hydraulic setup on it, because this originally I had it set up for a manual release. When it was in the Trans Am, I didn't want to do the hydraulic conversion at the time, because the old stock OEM hydraulic stuff was prone to leaking and having problems. So I did manual linkaging and stuff, which I liked a lot better because you could adjust it. But this car is set up with the hydraulic setup on it. You can see the line and all that stuff that sort of ran down and everything. So I'm not gonna mess and change any of that. I'm just going to keep it the way it is because it worked good for what it was. And this is a kit that goes for this T5 transmission. And like I said, you could just look it up on eBay, T5 manual conversion hydraulic, and you'll find the kit. They're pretty basic. Like I said, it comes with the shims, comes with a little shaft to keep it from spinning inside of the transmission. Comes like your little bleeders. This is a remote bleeder, which is what I'll end up probably putting on it. And I mean, that's it. Comes with the shims and setup. So we're going to try to get within a 1/16 of an inch, get it going. And then once we get that, then we'll set it into the car and get it onto the engine mounts, which was something else I didn't tell you guys before. So I think it's called Crazy Z or something. But they have these really cool engine mounts that you can buy if you guys are doing it into a Z car. They're a little pricey, but I'll be honest with you, they're well worth it. They're thick, they're good quality, go on both sides. So you can buy them engine mounts for any type of engine you want to drop into these Z cars. And we did the, you know, obviously the 350 or the small block Chevy. So we did those. I think those are more for like the LS engines, and we had to do some like slight, like just notching of the adjustment holes, or whatever you want to call it, the line holes in it for the bolts that go through, so you can adjust where the engine sits. We had to make them a little longer, I believe, to make it work with the small block. But again, easy, basic stuff. But once you got all that dialed in, the engine set in real nice, set nice and low in the car, and it just really worked out really good. So we're working with that. I said I want to get this adjusted, try to get this put together, get this thing stabbed onto the back of the car and get it ready so we can pick this whole unit up, put it in at a pretty sharp angle, and as we get down in there, we'll put a jack or put something underneath that supports the tail end of it so it's not grinding on the ground. And then we can bring it up as we settle it down to level it out so it sets inside this car. Because after I get this stabbed in there and get all figured out, I got to figure out, probably get a drive shaft made for it again. I had to have a custom drive shaft made for it before, and then the yoke and the spline was for the MV3500, which was a lot bigger. So, and I don't know if the lengths of these transmissions are going to be the same. They probably won't be, so I'll have to just get a drive shaft made for it. So I want to get this in today so I can sort of figure that out, get the hydraulic stuff, you know, sort of set up, get it all dialed in, so that way it's in there and it's ready. And then once I get the drive shaft, I can get that made, get that put in, and then we can start putting oils and put the front end back together and get all that stuff going, so we can break the cam in for the engine. And there you guys go, man, just one step at a time. All right, so now we don't have it stabbed in yet. Don't worry, you didn't miss much of anything. I just had this side bracket bolted to the back part of the head, you know, so it'd be at an angle. Extended the boom out pretty far so we can keep the engine and transmission at a pretty sharp angle. We got it to go in like this. We got a jack underneath there supporting the back end of the transmission. Just sort of keep it up so it ain't dragging. And now we move that back one to the front so we can have a more even thing, so I can try to work it and settle those engine mounts right over those, where I can put those bolts in so it'll be finally stabbed, you know, into the car. So that's sort of where we're at right now. See if we can get this thing sort of settled in there and keep her on going. You can see why I had to take off the distributor. This back part is actually touching the back of the firewall. It doesn't have much pressure on it, and it's about to have a lot less when I drop it down. But that's why with this type of car, you have to take it off. There's just no other way around it. Another issue you'll run into with this car too is when we do get this settled in here, even with this intake, there's not much clearance between the hood and the carburetor. So you have to use like a really low profile. It's like almost like a triangular shape type filter. It's a foam filter. It's short because ain't really a normal standard filter ain't gonna fit underneath this hood. But yeah, I just want to show you guys again the next part, man. Just sort of trying to get this thing settled down in there, and that's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to get it where it's mounted to the engine mounts. Then I'll jack the transmission up where it should be at, and then I'll start taking measurements for my drive shaft, sort of see what I'm working with, what I can do. All right, man, keep on going. So we're on the last engine mount. We just got the bolt to that one side. Sometimes, you know, when you have the engine and transmission as one unit, you'll have to move the transmission to one side or another to sort of get the engine straighter with the mount. You know, be patient to move the thing around and get it going, you know. And so right now we're just trying to get this other one going. This one's sort of weird because the way these mounts work is even though it's over that, it probably won't let me put a bolt through it because it's now settled down at a little bit of an angle. So this one here, you have to play with it a little bit with these Z mounts to get this thing where it'll actually go through. See? So I don't want to go through on that side. So I'm gonna have to lower it down a little bit. And we'll see if we can pick it up. So it's just playing with it until you get it. But that one side I can tell it's shifted towards the top. So the engine's sitting at a small bit of an angle, so I doubt it'll let me do it. I'll probably have to just drop it and then pull a little bit more on the other side, which causes the engine to straighten out. So we'll do that. Drop it right here. Move it over a little bit. And then drop it down just a little bit more. Yeah. Pull the strap through so it grabs us a little bit more on this other side first, which will lift it up, even it out, because it's already on this side already. It should hopefully help me to keep going. Let's see if it does or not. I'm hoping it does. So this side lifted up. The driver's side. Okay, so we're looking good. We gotta lift up a little bit more though to get that other side right, get the hole lined up on it. So we get this last bolt in there. And I do love these engine mounts. And I really think they did a spectacular job when it comes to designing most of this stuff. It really came out good. So as you guys can see, it's in there now. We're all good. There we go. And then once the engine settles in, sort of straight, which it should, then I can actually tighten those down because the engine will settle in nice and level. And there we go. The engine's in the car. At least sitting in here, at least. I don't know about anything else yet, but we still got a lot of work to do, but pretty cool, man. Definitely like it. And even though the green doesn't match exactly with the car, I still like it a lot. I think it looks cool. And we'll see how long it lasts. But pretty neat. Always keep these, show them to you guys real quick. Always keep, you'll find them on your small block Chevys on certain engines, you know. You guys always want to keep these. You know, they're usually like on the back. Could be like one near the alternator or something. They're actually for pulling the engine. I always hold on to them because they are great. Just run a bolt through the head or through the back of the block, whatever. Through the exhaust if you want to, ports, and you can lift the engine up. They're nice. But yeah, man, we got it in there. Give you guys a quick little overview of it real quick, and that'll be it for this video. Get this thing out of here. But yeah, looking good, man. So like I said, it'll get all cleaned up as we keep going, but we have to get it in there. So now we got to figure out this drive shaft situation. You know, I'll have to figure that out. So the transmission's up there. You can see it. It don't got far to go. I think that thing for the rear end's like right in here somewhere. I can't remember. And it's dark right here. But you know, you can see the drive shaft. So it's a very short drive shaft. So I gotta figure that part out next. Then get that going and start figuring that out. Because we got some drive shafts, but I don't think any of them will work. It'd be nice if they did though. That'd be awesome. I even have an aluminum Corvette drive shaft. All right, man. I appreciate you guys stopping by, checking this out, man. I appreciate your patience. Like I said, I'm not the best at this recording and doing stuff, and you guys would get bored watching long videos of me just trying to do stuff. So I'd rather just explain the issues I run into and how I overcame it, so that when you guys do it, it's easier and simpler for you. All right, I appreciate you, man. You guys have a great day.